He's also funded by Omid Malik, an Iranian billionaire. Do you think that there is money changing hands between this Qatari prince, or obviously there already is between Omid Malik? Do you think this is influencing the way that Tucker Carlson is covering this whole conflict?
When you go and when a famous person goes to the Gulf to give a speech at a big conference, do you think he does it for free?
No.
Do you think he flies there on his own dime?
I think he has the same arrangement as the Instagram models going to Dubai or whatever.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And does that influence his coverage? Of course it does. But I mean, the thing with Tucker is, I think it's way deeper than just that. They're giving him money. They're not directing his coverage as much as rewarding him for it. For stuff that he would probably be saying, regardless.
Hmm.
I thought it was ridiculous when the dude goes to Doha, to Qatar, sitting in front of the emir, and is like blaming like Barry Weiss and American neocons for Islamists killing Christians in Syria, speaking to the dude who's literally funding Islamists in Syria killing Christians for the last 15 years. It's just wild. And something is obviously going on there, and it's like every day, every week you see that it's less hidden.
Yeah, it's fascinating what's going on. As far as that, what I found on X, which is fascinating, it seems like the quickest path to getting a ton of followers is simply saying Jews suck. I mean, if you go on it, like, look how much, and again, I like the guy personally. I met him. Again, I separate personal relationships with anything people say on X, or else I'd have no friends. Jake Shields, as a fighter, just screaming about whatever, he had a decent following. Once he became, his whole entire persona on X now is anti-Jew. Stu Peters, anti-Jew. You have Lucas Gage, anti-Jew. Again, I'm not saying
Stu Peters is unhinged.
Stu Peters is just a bitch. I want to fight that.
I read something from him earlier today. He is like unhinged. Like a lot of these people.
But that's why that's how they make money. That's their grift. His grift is being unhinged and hating Jews, and that's okay. That's your grift. I'm a freedom of speech kind of guy. Let it all out.
Considered pretty crazy. I'm normally considered pretty crazy by most. And if I'm saying you're unhinged, you're fucked up.
My favorite person.
So I don't think. I mean, I'm a free speech guy, but I don't think this is an issue of free speech.
You don't.
I don't think it's. No. I think it's an issue of gaming the system.
Yes,
I mean,
you're right.
I don't care if the playing field is totally level, and you've got a guy who hates Jews and a guy who loves Jews and a guy who blah 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 blah. I don't really care. I mean, that's whatever. We deal with that. Obviously, I'm not happy about it, but like, I accept it as part of living in a free society. However, what you have here is you've got a platform that's specifically gamed in order to encourage in order to encourage this stuff. So for example, like, if I tweet something and I mention Fuentes, immediately they'll descend. And and the Tates and this and that and a million other things, these guys will just descend in a swarm. And like, that's not allowed by the Twitter or the X terms of service. I don't know about X now, but like in the old days, that was not allowed by the terms of service, because what that means is there are a bunch of people in a boiler room, real or fake, it doesn't matter, and someone is dropping a link in there with the purpose of like, okay, let's swarm this. And no matter what, like, if you're a shoe company, if you're Nike and you're trying to game the system this way, it should not be allowed. So X has the metrics and they have the data to be able to tell where these links are coming from.
Do you think there's a chance it was a bot farm?
Oh yeah. I mean, the really scary and sad thing about this is that this shit is fake. You know, it can be fake until it's real, and at a certain point,
Yep.
it's actually real. So like you
Mhm.
can create, um, you know, you can go and you can buy, you know, billions of bots to make it look like the most popular topics in the world are, you know, Jew haters. And then people will, you know, people who have big podcasts will look at it and say, well, you know, the most popular topics are you know, are Jew hating. I guess I guess I'll get into that field.
It's
And then the
the
next,
concept of societal contagion.
What's the
yeah,
incentive?
no, no, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and it's like you don't need to shut it down at the ideological point or at the point of speech. You just have to shut down some of these ways that people use to game the system,
What's
which are,
the
to me, are
incentive?
obvious.
What's the incentive for Jew hate bot farms? I think I said that right.
A lot of things. I mean, I think the biggest incentive is the Chinese.
Yeah. So do you
With
think there's a
the Jew
possibility
hate,
that Nick Fuentes, Stu Peters, and et cetera, are paid Chinese agents? Partially joking, not really.
they may not even know it, but this stuff is going on. I mean, they
Super
may be
chats can come from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you know, who knows where they get boosts from? But like, if you're the Chinese, you look at this and you're like, wait a minute, America's most like, you know, America's most militarily capable and you know, powerful ally in the entire region, this key region for natural resources, can be pulled away from America. We can encourage, you know, all kinds of, you know, hate for Israel here on the right and on the left, and do this and that. Like, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, frankly, it's the kind of things that I think America, the United States, should be doing with our foreign adversaries.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is why, like, you know, when the whole thing came out with USAID, people were you know, people were freaked out. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You're making a great point. Like Stephen Miller is one of the greatest Americans. He's pushing as much as he can for the mass deportation. He's a great American, and there's just, willing or not, a divide and conquer operation in America to try and divorce people, even right wingers, from the Trump administration, from any type of Jewish American supports it. Trump is bad. He's all owned by the Jews. They're pushing for the mass deportation of illegals. The Trump administration, that's what they're doing. But there's these people on the right, people like Nick Fuentes, stood against President Trump, said, "Oh, we should be supporting Kamala." What type of insanity is that? That feels like an op to try and divide and conquer America. Whether he's being ordered to or not, it all just feels like an op.
I agree. I mean, it feels like an op, but I mean, I have friends who are the first people to, you know, jump up and say, "Oh, this is fake. You know, this is all an op. This is from foreign. You know, this is foreign manipulation, etc." And I think that's true. That there's a lot to it, but like, never discount the fact that Americans can be unbelievably stupid all on our own.
Unbelievably fucking stupid.
We were all
it's-
around during 2020.
Yes,
it's
yes.
been one of my main arguments for years now. It's just unbelievably stupid. Like when we talk about Palestine and Hamas, like the gays for Hamas thing. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I mean, like, for real. How stupid can you be? Like, I mean, I just don't even, like, you know they want to kill you, right? Like, it's like being pro-rapist. It's just insane. Like, I mean, I can't even, and technically it is being pro-racist because it's Hamas, you know. And I wanted to ask, like, basically all you guys, where, like, and I guess it's weird for me because my best friend's a Jew. I mean, we don't even, like, I swear, Mark, and you can be the only one to verify this. Before, like, 2 years ago, we never even fucking talked about it. I didn't care. I don't know. It was like not a fucking issue up until 2 years
cares.
ago. Nobody gave a shit.
Nobody
right?
cares.
Like, obviously it's for politics, but why do you think it is so easy for people? Like, what exactly is wrong with the Jews? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that's the big thing. Like, they just take this. It's like this statement is made on premise, like,